I'm going to show you how to build this today. Let's start with some balsa bodies. We're going to take a heavy gauge wire with a hoop on the end for the center post. We're going to use a smaller one for the hooks on the bottom. So you'll end up with two of these. You have a blade for the back. There's several different options. And basically we're going to assemble these pieces right here. We're going to have some ball bearings, a couple ferrules, pliers, snippers, hoop makers, and a razor blade and epoxy, and some sandpaper, and a bullet weight. So you're going to drill a hole down through the center of this lure. You're going to come in from the rear and connect those two holes. It's a 1/16 inch bit. You're going to slide that wire down through the middle, make sure it fits, kind of jam it into the front, get it where you want it. You're going to drill a hole straight up from the bottom, and you're going to purposely intersect with that other wire. You're going to clean that hole out. You're going to clip off the hoop of the skinnier wire, and you're going to make sure those two wires touch as they slide by each other. I'm going to put a fold in this wire right here, and make sure that fold catches and hooks over top of the other wire. You're going to fit your ferrules in place. You just basically slide them in and jam them into the balsa. That's going to keep the wires from tearing up the lure when it's being stressed. And then we're going to take a drill bit and drill a hole out in the beginning of the front. And we're basically going to put a bullet weight kind of in the front end of that lure to where it sits kind of flush once it's all drilled in place. Poured out some 5-minute epoxy, not too much. We're going to go ahead and put some in the hole where the leaded weight goes. We're going to push it in place. We're going to line the rods and slide them into place. Make sure they get glued in nice and tight. We're going to put some glue around the back before we put the ferrules in. We're going to slide that in and use our finger to wipe away the excess. We're also going to go ahead and drop a lot of glue, or as much as we can get down in that top hole where those two pieces of wire intersect. And we're also going to put some more glue on the ferrule down below. And we're going to finish off by coating the bullet weight and coating the entire lure with epoxy. It's going to get a little messy. You can clean your hands later, and that's what the finished glue job looks like. Overnight, it's time to put the jigskin on the lure. You're going to have your bottom hoop already made, but you're not going to make the back loop because you want to have something to hold on to when you dip it in the hot water. You want to slide the lure in past the front eye, and you want to cut just behind the lure body. I leave a little excess just to be safe. It's better to have a little too much. And once you cut it in place, you touch where the lower eye intersects with that wrapper, and then you cut a little slot and it pokes right through. You make sure that your location of your eyes and everything's still good, and it's time to dip it. In a pot of boiling water, you dip it in there, leave it for a few seconds, and then you cut off the excess after it cools. You don't want to cut off the excess before it cools because it could draw back. If you need to touch up a spot or push some pieces down, you can re-dip it, but that's really what you end up with is a nice tight fit. You have your back hoop that you put together once you put your blade and your little ball bearing on there. You leave a little slack for that back blade to spin, and it's time to mount the hooks. This is probably the most frustrating thing for me is trying to get these hooks on there, because between the small pieces and poking your finger 100 times, it's kind of frustrating. But this is your finished product. It's a really good looking little bait. Makes a nice noise across the topwater. I think it's going to be a killer in the spring. Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching. I hope this helped you, and I hope you can build something cool. If you do build a lure that's going to be useful and you think it might be interesting to everyone else, please share it. I'm always looking for good ideas, and so is everyone else. Please subscribe, and please watch some of my other videos. I have a lot of good content, and I look forward to having more members on my site soon. Thanks so much. Talk to you later. Bye.